Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to look at the subreddit r/entitledparents, where people tell us their stories of crazy mums and dads who think they're entitled just because they have kids. If you're new around here, please hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Entitled parent thinks they rented the whole park. I'm at a city park with my kids. We've been to this park a bunch. There is this one spot where there is a rocky hill, all tree covered. Nice and shady on a hot day. There is a playground and a pavilion at the top of the hill. We get up there and I immediately notice loud noises, and I'm having to step over cables and extension cords. Someone rented the pavilion and set up not one, but 3 bounce houses around it. Great. So I have to give the disappointing news to my kids that even though they are surrounded by bounce houses, they cannot play in them since this is a private party, but they are free to go and hit the playground. Everyone is cool. I sit on a bench as my kids go to town on the fake pirate ship when I hear, "Hey." That's when entitled dad, doing his best to imitate the situation from Jersey Shore, walks up to me and informs me that the playground is closed for a private party. I look at him and inform him that the public park does not close for private parties, and it sounds like he rented the pavilion nearby, which is fine, but doesn't give him exclusive use of the neighboring playground. He storms off and returns with a rental agreement and shoves it in my face, telling me to get my kids and leave. Right, so rental agreement is very clearly for the pavilion, all for the grand sum of $35 for 4 hours. How can any sensible adult think that $35 granted you exclusive use of a public playground? Moreover, why is it so important for you to have exclusive use of a public playground? I again point out to him that he rented the pavilion, not the park, and my kids won't go on his bounce houses and we won't go into his pavilion, but the playground is fair game for everyone. He begins hurling threats and I'm weighing just taking my kids and leaving to avoid this guy. Then I decide I need to take a stand on principle. So I tell him to screw off and proceed to use my phone to find the phone number for the park office. Our county staffs our parks. During the summer months, they employ park rangers who have peace officer authority. I call the park ranger and tell him that there is trouble up at the shady playground and they need to come right away. Sure enough, as I'm getting off the phone, Dolph returns with 2 of his meathead friends to tell me that they are ejecting me from the park. No, you're not, and if you touch me, I'm calling the cops and pressing charges. No anger, no rage. With this promise of action, however, one of them kind of widens his eyes and steps back saying to his friend, "Just leave them alone, man." This guy, for some reason, does not want the police coming, and it's very obvious. The ringleader won't back down, however, and tries his best to get in my face, scream and yell. He grabs my arm, I remove his hand. All of this just as I see the ranger pull up, yell for everyone to step back from one another and come over. This smug guy shoves the rental contract into the chest of the ranger, telling him that I'm trespassing and he rented this space for the day for his kids' party. Now, normally I don't like posturing by law enforcement, but here it was pretty amusing. "Touch me again and I'm arresting you." He then reads the contract. "This is for renting the pavilion. You have use of the pavilion, but the playground is open for public use." He hands it back. "Also, your permit doesn't allow you to set up bounce houses. Where did you plug these in?" Ranger follows the extension cords and sees that they run them to the nearby public bathrooms. There was an outdoor outlet. It was locked. This dude cut the lock off so he could plug in his stuff. Ranger comes back with the broken lock. "Did you cut this lock?" It was like that when I found it." Really? Because it was intact this morning. So some random person cut this lock and you just happened upon it with the last 2 hours? I guess? Long story short, he let them stay and let them keep the bounce castles because he didn't want to ruin a kid's party. He wrote the guy a citation for the broken lock and the unauthorized power use, and banned him from the park for the remainder of the season, after the party. Amazingly, this entire event was lost on my children, who barely noticed anything was going on, likely because of the compressor noise. That's actually such a good outcome because that park ranger could have just shut everything down, he could have unplugged it and everyone would have to leave, but then he would ruin like the kid's birthday, so I'm glad he punished him and he let them have the party. $10 for 9 hours of babysitting is more than generous. Some context. I am a 20-year-old female and my babysitting job started with 18, in high school. Actually, it started as a tutoring job. My mum asked me if I could tutor a colleague in English since I had just passed my Cambridge Advanced and she needed to get better to reapply for jobs after she had been made redundant from her old one. Sure, no problem. I took about $20 a session. 20 for private tutoring for 2 hours isn't much, but we only had 2 sessions before she asked me if I could babysit her daughter just once because she needed to take an extra shift. I mean, okay, sure. She gave me $25 for 5 hours of babysitting, and the kid was asleep 3 hours of them, so easy money. She even gave me permission to rob her fridge, and she gave me the Wi-Fi password. Her kid was a bit entitled, sure, but I guess every only child with such a mum is. So it was $25 the evening, and she asked me 3 more times within 2 months. Not bad, mostly weekdays from 5 PM to 10 PM. I only lived 5 minutes away from her, so I didn't mind, even though it was on weekdays. Then she came to me and told me a sob story about how money was tight, and her work in the restaurant wasn't bringing in too much money, and I was really understanding. So it got 15 an evening. Still okay-ish, considering her 7-year-old kid was going to bed early. I have no idea when it got out of control like that, but damn. Before I could really grasp it, I was babysitting 5 days a week, every time but on the weekends, or when I had an important thing like a wedding going on. Then I babysat the weekends too. Then $15 turned into 10. It was hell. I was in the middle of studying for my finals, and my girlfriend was complaining we didn't spend much time anymore. Which was true, everything in my life suddenly revolved around that kid. When I told the mum I really couldn't take care of her daughter that day or so, cause I was exhausted, she came with the same sob story of how money was tight, and honestly, she always said thank you after sitting, so I kind of fell for that cheap trick. One day, she asked me if I could put some laundry into her washing machine. She'd do the rest. She just wanted it to be ready when she came home. I mean, hey, just 20 seconds, right? This went on for a year. I graduated and started an internship. I started at 7 AM and could leave at 4 PM. And she still asked me to babysit. Being the naive person I am, I said yes. The chores doubled and doubled until I had to cook for the kid, entertain her, and put her to bed in time. Then do her household, make sure everything was clean, etc. Sometimes she told me she'd be home at 8 PM and showed up at 2 AM. Basically, it was screwing with everything in my life. In the end, my girlfriend even had to come to that kid so we could spend a bit of time together. I was basically parenting a 7-year-old who wasn't mine. Every time I told her it was too much, she kept begging, and like, yeah, okay, I got it. Money was tight, so I just kept going until she found a new job. Finally. Then, the biological father of the kid turned up once. They are divorced and he lives an hour away, but picks her up on the weekends. He asked me if I felt nice with the raise. I was like, what raise? Turns out that mum asked him every week for $300 so she could afford me. Yesterday, she asked for $350. He paid, I didn't get anything. That woman spent everything for herself and just assumed no one would notice. When I confronted her, she said, $10 are more than generous for an evening. I remind you, sometimes it was up to 9 hours. Lady, normal babysitters demand $6 an hour at least. I told her then if this was so generous, she could surely find someone else, and left. Never talked to her again. Still feel bad for the kid though. I feel so bad for this person because there was definitely not a contract, so they're never going to be able to get that money back, but I just hope that they never do it again. When entitled mother wants your laptop, so she takes your phone. What? The cast. Entitled mother, entitled kid, SB for Starbucks barista, RG for random guy, NP1 and NP2 are nice police officers. And me, the master elf. On to the story. So I was at Starbucks just minding my own business, doing my awesome online school homework, until I felt a sharp tap on my shoulder. Entitled mom clears her throat angrily. Hello, how's it going? My son wants to play video games, and our computer is at home. Your computer looks like a gaming one. Can entitled kid have it? No, this is $1,500, and it's not even a gaming machine. Plus, why would I want to give my only computer to a random stranger and her kid? It's a Razer Blade Stealth 2018 by the way, so I would understand why it looks gamer-y. Because I'm an adult and you must listen to adults. I go back to work because I decided that they weren't worth my attention, and I already knew what situation I was in, and my ignorance of those two souls that even hell rejected seemed to work for a moment. Out of the corner of my eye, I see entitled kid trying to grab my computer by the screen. Big no-no. I slap his arm away, and this guy, at least 15 and I'm 13, starts bawling his eyes out like a toddler. Like what? This entitled mother, who looked around 50, started to cry and cradle her 15-year-old sack of sun-dried hellspawn, as if he was a baby that has a tiny boo-boo. And I kid you not, this happens. Can I have his phone now? Entitled mother reaches for my phone. No, get away from me before I make you. By now, the Starbucks barista was aware and asks entitled mother to kindly leave before the police are called. This little Chinese person is assaulting me and my child, and insulting us, and we are the ones leaving? No, I won't take this. I'm calling the police on you and this little brat. Minutes go by as entitled mother screams into her phone, and finally the police arrive. So, we received a call for armed assault and theft. Is this true? They obviously knew this was an entitled mother case. They looked so done with this. This little brat stole my phone and my laptop, and he just slapped my child and I, so I want him arrested now. A random guy then chimes in. Shut your mouth, lady. You've been harassing this boy for as long as you've been here. Is this true? Looking at me. Yes, that random guy is right. Entitled mother says, no, don't listen to him. I was minding my own business until this lady taps me on the shoulder and asks me for my laptop, and since I don't know her, I refused. She then allowed her kid to grab my laptop, and so I slapped his arm away from me. Can you prove this? I know the password to the laptop and phone. Here, the nice police officer hands entitled mother the phone and laptop. If you can sign into the laptop and phone, they are yours. If you can't and the boy can, they're his. and you will be charged with 911 misuse, attempted theft, and assault. Now try to log in. Entitled mother tries and fails to log in to my laptop and phone, and she finally blurts out, He must have changed the password somehow. I know both the passwords. I get both my belongings back and sign into both. He changed the password. Entitled mother, I'm feeling nicer today, so if you will kindly leave before it's too late, I will drop you only a fine for 911 misuse. However, if you don't leave, you will be arrested. Fine, I'll go. Entitled mother leaves, and the police officers follow her out, and I watch her car leave the Starbucks. And I finally think to myself, phew, I can post this to Reddit. I open my computer, and this woman walks back in, snatches my phone, and says, "You're too young to have this anyways," and walks towards the exit. The nerve of this Karen. The Starbucks barista runs to the door, closes it, locks it, and tells her to return the phone before the cops are called again. And she gives up and leaves. I get my phone back, and the Starbucks barista tells me she's sorry and she'll give me a free drink. I said it's fine and pack up my stuff and leave. Holy God, what the heck? I don't know about you, but I would definitely just keep that door locked and call them straight back, because I want her getting arrested after that. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.